Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech is an example of how grace saves through faith, which is something that is mentioned in Ephesians chapter 2, where Paul specifically says that we are saved by the grace of God through our faith. I think a lot of people misunderstand that as meaning we get a free ticket to heaven, which may be the case, but that's not what Paul's talking about here. What Paul's talking about in Ephesians is when we have faith in the loving message of Jesus Christ, that transforms us into people who can change the world through good works. I think a lot of us make the same mistake when we look at the legacy of Dr. King. We see him giving that speech in our nation's capital and we are attracted to that inclusive message. But we forget all the work that he and the people that he worked with had to do in order to deliver that message to our nation's capital. And we forget that that work that he was engaged in isn't done. There is still inequality in our nation. And so if we really want to understand what it means to be saved by grace through faith, well, Jesus sums that up in the parable of the sower, where God's grace is depicted as seeds that are scattered across the earth. And human faith is represented by the soil that receives that seed, whether or not the seeds are able to grow. Are we open to messages of love like the ones Jesus Christ shared? Those of us who are willing to do the hard work of letting that message challenge and transform us, that's the type of faith that receives God's grace. And Dr. King is an example of a person who was fertile soil for that love to grow in. Not everybody has that type of faith. Not every Christian has that type of faith. And so if we're really interested in being saved, and no longer want to be a part of forces of hate that cause harm in this world, we really need to listen to messages of love like the ones that Jesus taught. And if that message lands, then it encourages us to do the type of work that would transform the world into a better place.